The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Back to Money for Breakfast. I'm Alexis Glick. Is America ready for the Amero? It's like the euro, and it would unite Canada, the United States, and Mexico under a single currency. But some critics say that taking away our currency would take away our political freedom. Joining us for more is Sean Flynn, author of Economics for Dummies, and from Denver, Daniel Carr, who mints fantasy Amero coins. Good morning, gentlemen. All right, Sean, let's start with you. What exactly is the Amero, and where did this thing come from?
Okay, well, first of all, it's just a rumor, and it's not going to happen. But, we had NAFTA back in 1992, and there's been some other conferences more recently thinking about opening up trade in the United States between Canada and Mexico and sort of making a bigger free trade area. And rumors got started that as part of this, we were going to introduce a continent-wide new currency called the Amero, sort of like how the European Union has the euro.
You know, interesting thing, because I remember I was trading on Wall Street when the euro came out. Everybody discounted the euro. Oh, this was going to be a disaster. Germany was the only country that had any strong currency. Now it's successful. Is this in part a move that we're seeing here because of our declining dollar and because of the fact that the euro has been a greater success story?
Well, a couple comments along those lines. First of all, the euro got to be successful mostly because they put the German central bankers in charge. And so the idea here with the Amero would be if the Americans were in charge and, with the we have the strongest central bank and whatnot, we would have a strong Amero if the Fed were in charge. But on the other hand, since we already have a pretty strong currency, despite the decline in the dollar recently, which I could go into is due to lots of other things, yeah, there's no really reason to introduce it. But I have to say there are conspiracy theorists out there who are saying that the slide in the dollar is intentional to try and get us to clamor for a different currency, and then they're going to shove the Amero on us.
Well, listen, we wouldn't be talking about an Amero if we weren't concerned in some part about the U.S. dollar. And, of course, we talk about NAFTA and the ability to trade across the borders. Is there some merits to the fact that, hey, it helps us trade with Latin America and Central America, and maybe that's a good thing?
Well, absolutely. Obviously, if you don't have to exchange currency, if you're doing a lot of import-export, it's nicer to have one currency. And, there's several countries in Latin America that have dollarized, and you actually use Ecuador, I think, uses U.S. dollars for their currency. So it's nice, but in terms of actual economic impact, we're talking a few $1 billion on a $13 trillion economy. It really wouldn't be big enough to warrant the switch.
And those are just because of the exchange rates of exchanging Canadian or U.S. dollars or pesos, et cetera.
Yes.
Okay. Daniel, let's talk to you. What inspired you to start minting these coins before the ideas have really even come to the table?
Well, what I do is I'm a sculptor, and I like to make interesting coins, tokens, and medals. And earlier this year, I'd been reading about the Amero, and I'd read some of the same conspiracy theories. And it's not all a conspiracy. I mean, there has been some talk in think tanks and whatnot proposing this idea. But earlier this year, I just got the idea, well, I'm in the business of making interesting coins and so on, and I thought, oh, why not? There's no law that says I can't make Amero-denominated coins. And I thought, when I first made them, I thought these would be a passing interest to certain circles within the coin collecting community, but it's gotten way beyond that.
These coins, I'm holding these coins in my hand right now. They're really, really cool. Here, let me turn it there. There we go. There we go. What has the response been to your Amero? I mean, how are people reacting to this?
Well, they've been popular. I've sold quite a few to collectors. It's probably been my best item. I mean, as an artist, you always hope to sell your work in some form or another, and this has been, of all the works I've done, this has been the one that is sold the best. But I can tell you that I've had a few people contact me and ask my opinion of the Amero and whatnot, and I've had a lot of people are somewhat neutral on it. They don't really know what it would mean if there ever was a North American Union, but there have been quite a few people that are negative on it. I haven't had anyone contact me and say that they're really in favor of a North American Union at this point.
Sean, I have to ask, is this sort of just a stunt right now? I mean, is this just because of all the talk about the U.S. dollar, and this is just, we're all having some fun with this, or is there some real validity that this might become a dialogue over the next year?
I don't think there's any chance whatsoever that we'll get any more political unification between the three countries or a joint currency. No, absolutely none.
All right, Daniel, I just have to ask, how much are these coins?
Well, they range from about $9 for the small copper one on up to about $1,000 for the big gold one. But that's a lot of gold, and a lot of that money is the price of gold that goes into
So
it.
this is real. I'm impressed. These are really, really cool, Daniel. Thanks so much for joining us this morning and for showing us. If it happens, you'll be one successful man.
Well, if it ever does go through, a real Amero currency ever comes up by the government, I'm sure I'll be the first to know because the government will tell me not to do mine anymore. But the one,
exactly right. You might
so
get
I'm sort of the barometer
arrested.
here. Yeah, but for now it's perfectly legal, and if it ever does happen, the ones I've already made, they'll be worth something, I suppose.
That's exactly right. Well, we like those businesses at home. Daniel, thanks so much, and Sean, thank you.
Thank you.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.